Hello everyone! Me and my group mates are going to discuss the K-12 Basic Education Curriculum that focuses on the Physical Education Curriculum Guide. So before we proceed to our discussion of this curriculum, let us first have our overview. So essentially, the K-12 curriculum proposed in 2011 seeks to develop 21st century skills among its learners. These include the cognitive skills of critical thinking, problem solving, and creative thinking, the social or interpersonal skills of communication, collaboration, leadership, and cross-cultural skills, and self-management skills of self-monitoring and self-direction, as well as task or project management skills, and personal characteristics which are part of ethics, civic responsibility, and accountability. So it means that K-12 basic education program is not about knowing the importance of technology, but also growing or kung paano madedevelop ng isang estudyante in 21st century yung mga skills na dapat nilang matutunan for their future para mas open and mas magkaroon sila ng malawak na distinctive kung ano nga ba yung mangyayari sa future nila. So, malaking tulong yung K-12 para mas mapalawak and also ma-develop yung skills na kayang-kaya ng bawat estudyante.
The curricular philosophy of the K-12 PE curriculum. Fitness and movement education content is the core of the K-12 PE curriculum. It includes value, knowledge, skills, and experiences in physical activity participation in order to first achieve the maintained health-related fitness or the HRF, as well as to optimize health. In particular, it hopes to instill an understanding of why HRF is important so that the learner can translate HRF knowledge into action. Thus, self-management is an important skill. In addition, the curriculum recognizes the view that the fitness and healthy physical activity or the PA behaviors must take the family and other environmental settings like school, community, and larger society into consideration. This curricular orientation is a paradigm shift from the previous sports-dominated PE curriculum aimed at athletic achievement. Move to learn is the context of physical activity as the means for learning, while learn to move embodies the learning of skills and techniques and acquisitions of understanding that are requisites to participation in a variety of physical activities that includes first, exercise, games, sports, dance, and recreation.
Learning outcomes. The K-12 physical education curriculum develops the students' skill in accessing, synthesizing, and evaluating information, making informed decisions, enhancing and advocating their own and others' fitness and health. So, the goal of this physical education curriculum is to provide learners enough, accurate, and applicable information that will be beneficial on their personal health and or to become a physically literate individual and promoting it to others or in the community at the same time. The knowledge, understanding, and skills underpin the confidence, and commitment required of all students to live an active life for fitness and health. This states that this physical education curriculum develops not just the motor skills, but also cognitive skills that is necessary in the success of achieving a healthy lifestyle, in which this is also stated that physical education aims to promote optimum development of an individual physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, and even spiritually.
K-12 Physical Education Curriculum prioritize the following standards. So, the physical education curriculum have 4 standards. The first one is habitual physical activity participation to achieve and maintain health-enhancing levels of fitness. So, ang standard daw ng physical education curriculum is mag-provide ng enhancement in health para sa kanila or para sa mga estudyante na ma-develop or ma-enhance ang kanilang engagement in physical activities and physical fitness. Pangalawa, competence in movement and motor skills requisite to various physical activity performance. Kumbaga, yung ating physical education curriculum from the kinder to grade 12 or senior high school, parang prerequisite siya lahat ng physical education subjects from motor skills to a particular skills. Kumbaga, yung physical education curriculum natin, sa simula pa lang o sa kinder pa lang nagde-develop na sa mga bata ng motor skills, and pag yung grade level is pataas ng pataas, doon nag-i-improve yung kanilang skills, and dahil doon makakagawa na yung isang student ng isang particular na skills. Next, valuing physical activities for enjoyment, challenge, social interaction, and career opportunities. Next and last, understanding various movement concepts, principles, strategies, and tactics as they apply to the learning of physical activity.
K-12 Basic Education Curriculum Learning Approaches. Physical literacy is consists of movement, motor, and basic activity-specific skills. So, yung physical literacy is binubuo siya ng movement, motor, and activity-specific skills. So, di ba nung mga elementary tayo, ng early grades natin, tinuturo sa atin yung what, why, and how, kung paano nga ba yung movement. So, yung progress na yun sa pagkakaintindi natin kung bakit nga ba yung mga movement na yun is na-achieve, na mas na para ma-develop pa sa mas mature movement and motor skills. So, mas nagiging mature na yung mga movements na ginagawa natin. Saka, hindi lang doon, pati na din sa mga exercise, tsaka sa mga sports, and sa mga sayaw. Para ma-enhance yung fitness parameters natin. And the learners builds on this knowledge and skills in order to plan, set goals, and monitor their participation in physical activities, tulad ng sa mga pag-participate sa exercise, sports, and dance, and constantly evaluate how they have integrated this in their personal lifestyle. So, paano na nila na-apply yun or ini-integrate sa personal na buhay nila. This implies the provision of ongoing and developing appropriate activities so that the learners can practice, create, apply, and evaluate the knowledge, understanding, and skills necessary to maintain and to enhance their own as well as others' fitness and health through participation in physical activities. So doon na nade-develop yung appropriate, yung mga naaakmang mga activities sa mga learners na pwede nilang gawin or i-apply para ma-evaluate yung mga nalalaman na nila at yung mga pagkakaintindi nila sa mga skills na kailangan para ma-maintain at ma-enhance yung sarili nila and pati na rin yung iba sa iba yung health nila and sa pamamagitan na din ng pag-participate nila sa physical activities.
So here is the continuation of learning approaches in K-12 basic education curriculum of the physical education. So the curriculum also allows for an inclusive approach that understands and respects the diverse range of learners. Thus, the program takes into account their needs, strengths, and abilities. This is to ensure that all learners have equivalent opportunities and choices in physical education. So, inclusive approach means students are free, they have equal opportunities or equivalent opportunities, and they are free to choose in physical education. So next, The curriculum emphasizes knowing what, how, and why of movements. So the curriculum will emphasize the what, the questions what, how, and why. So it focuses on developing the learner's understanding of how the body responds and adjusts and adapts to activities. So how the students will know how their body responds, adjusts, and adapts to physical activities. This will equip the learners to become self-regulated and self-directed as a result of knowing what should be done and actually doing it. Kung ano yung kailangan nilang matapos or yung kailangan nilang gawin in physical education. Is the learners are equally confident in influencing their peers, family, immediate community, and ultimately society. These are all valuable 21st century skills which the K-12 PE curriculum aspire for the learners to develop. So first, students will adopt or will have the experience before they will influence or inspired or inspired their peers, family, the community, or the society.
In the K-12 basic education curriculum, the learning standards, number 1 is, the program has a 5 learning standards. Number 1, body management, which includes body awareness, space awareness, qualities and relationship of movement, and how these are used dynamically in various physical activities. Number 2 is movement skills related to the fundamental movements, patterns, and motor skills that form the basis of all physical education. Number 3, games and sports consisting of simple lead-up and indigenous games as well as individual, dual, and team sports in competitive and recreational settings. Number 4, rhythms and dance including rhythmical movements pattern, the promotion of the appreciation of Philippine folk dance, indigenous and traditional dances as well as other dance forms. And lastly, number 5, physical fitness includes assessment through the fitness test and the records, interpreting, planning, and implementing appropriate programs to support the fitness of health goals.
The acquisitions of physical literacy serve as the foundations of lifelong physical activity participation, which is critical to maintaining and promoting health. Thus, the health strand in the senior high school or SHS is seamlessly integrated and physical in PE curriculum. These strands optimize the learner's potential for health and well-being and contributes to building healthy, active communities. Thus, the course title Health Optimizing PE or HOPE.
Now, we are going to discuss the conceptual framework of physical education in the K-12 curriculum. Let's find out how meaningful this conceptual framework is. Of course, we as a teacher, we want our learners to acquire physical literacy, and that means we want them to be able to move with competence and confidence in a wide variety of physical activities in multiple environments that benefit the healthy development of a whole person. And by achieving that, we are tasked to teach them the fundamental movement skills, which includes the fundamental movement of patterns. Also teach them fundamental motor skills such as locomotor and non-locomotor skills. And also to teach them activity or specific activity that help them develop the necessary skills needed for more advanced activities, sports, and exercises. At the early stages of our learners, they will be taught about body management, which includes body awareness, space awareness, and how will they adjust and adapt themselves over the space. And as they progress, they will be then be gradually taught rhythms and dances and games and sports, that is applying basic skills they had acquired to more advanced and variety of physical activities, and it will be taught to kindergarten up to grade 12.
So here's the continuation of conceptual framework of physical education. So here we have activity-based, developmentally appropriate, standard-based, integrated, and inclusive. So first, let's talk about activity-based. So activity-based is an approach of curriculum encourages children to participate physically and mentally in the learning process and helps students to learn and retain information. The second one is developmentally appropriate. So when we say developmentally appropriate, it describes an approach to teaching that respect both the age and individual needs of each child. The third one is standard-based. So standard-based is an assessment and instruction that are based upon a set of standards that are expected to be met. So the next one is integrated. So example of it is reading, writing, oral communication, and language arts. It combines content, area instruction with skills instructions. So the last one is inclusive. So inclusive is an approach which recognizes and values diversity so that the diverse learning needs and preferences of individual learners meet.
If all these will be implemented properly, it can cause a positive change of attitudes toward the learners and it could develop a learner's oneself. Since the learner is able to understand how important to be physically literate and how important physical fitness is, whatever knowledge and skills that individual had acquired, he or she will share that to his or her family and to the school, and that will be then be coordinated to the community and even to a larger society. So as you can see, curriculum is not only focusing on the development of an individual, but whatever that individual develop out of the curriculum, he or she can share to a larger society. And with this curriculum, we are expecting a graduates who can live an active life for fitness and lifelong health.
The basic education curriculum in grade 7 para sa first quarter or first grading period, the exercise programs is the training guidelines, FITT principle na kasama dito ang endurance, muscle, and bone strengthening. And it has 3 activities. First, the individual sports. Second, the dual sports. And third is the combative sports. In individual sports, nakapaloob dito ang running, rhythmic sports, gymnastics, and swimming. While in dual sports, it has badminton, table tennis, and tennis. Lastly, combative sports. Meron itong arnis o anyo, taekwondo o yung pumsei. Third is yung karate or yung kata. So these activities are dependent on teacher capability and school resources. Let's move on. In content standards, so the learner demonstrate understanding of guidelines and principles in exercise program designed to achieve personal fitness. In performance standards, the learner designs an individual's exercise program to achieve personal fitness. Further, in learning competency, the learner first undertakes physical activity and physical fitness assessments. Second, sets goals based on assessment result. Third, identifies training guidelines and FITT principles. Fourth, recognizes barriers like low level of fitness, lack of skills, and time to exercise. 5. Prepares an exercise program. And number 6, describes the nature and background of the sports.
Number 7, executes the skills involved in the sport. So, sa learning competency, dapat yung estudyante is may execute yung mga skills na involved sa sport. Dun nga katulad sa individual sport, sa dual sport, tsaka sa competitive sports. Number 8. Monitors periodically one's progress towards the fitness goal. So dito dapat monitor yung progress o yung nagiging progress ng bata dun sa fitness goals niya. And sa number 9, distinguish from fallacies and misconceptions about the physical activity participation. So dito naman, dinidistinguish yung fallacies o yung mga hindi totoo or yung mga nagiging misconceptions tungkol sa kapag nagpa-participate ng physical activity. Number 10, performs appropriate first aid for sports-related injuries, cramps, sprain, heat exhaustion. So dito naman yung mape-perform yung tamang pag-apply o pag-apply ng first aid sa mga sports-related injuries tulad ng cramps, sprain, tsaka heat exhaustion. Sa number 11, sa learning competency, assumes responsibility for achieving personal fitness. So dito naman yung responsibility para ma-achieve yung personal fitness. Sa number 12, keeps the importance of winning and losing in perspective. So dito dapat malalaman yung kahalagahan ng magiging perspective mo, talo ka man o panalo sa game.
So now let us have the second quarter or second period of the grade 7 level in physical education. Let us move on with the content standards. The content standards states that the learners demonstrate understanding of guidelines and principles in exercise program to achieve personal fitness. So here in content standards, the students or the learners will demonstrate their understanding according to the guidelines and principles in an exercise program that designs to achieve their personal fitness. Next, we have personal standards. The learner will modify the individual's exercise program to achieve personal fitness by means of the personal. So, kanya-kanya or individually, they will modify the exercise program. Next, we have the learning competencies. In this quarter, we have 9 learning competencies. First, we have undertakes physical activity and physical fitness assessment. So they will have an assessment through physical activity and fitness. Next, we have review goals based on assessment result. They will review their goals according to or based on the assessment. Next, we have addresses barriers or low level of fitness, lack of skills and time to exercise. Next, they will describe the nature and background of the sports, execute the skills involved in the sports, monitors periodically one's progress towards the fitness goals. Next, we have they will perform appropriate first aid for sports related injuries, whether or for example cramps, sprain, heat, and exhaustion. Next, we have they will assume responsibility for achieving personal fitness. Lastly, we have they will keep the importance of winning and losing it. Let us have the codes. So for the learning competencies number 13 and 14, we have E7, EF2A, H23 and 23. Their learning materials are E1, Quarter 1, Module 1, as well as the learning competencies number 14. Next, the learning competency number 15, we have the code P7, PF2B 33. Learning materials PE1 Module 1. Learning competency number 16, we have the code PE7GS 2D5. The learning materials are number 1, PE1 Quarter 2 Module 1, Quarter 2 Module 2, Quarter 2 Module 3, Quarter 3 Module 1. Enjoy life with PE and Health 2, Edukasyong Pangkatawan, Kalusugan at Musika 3, Edukasyong Pangkatawan, Kalusugan at Musika 1. Next, we have learning competency number 17. We have the code PE7 GS2DH4. Learning materials are, first we have PE1 Quarter 2 Module 1, Quarter 2 Module 2, Quarter 2 Module 3, and Quarter 3 Module 1. Enjoy life with PE and Health 2, Edukasyong Pangkatawan, Kalusugan at Musika 1. Next, we have the competency number 18. The code are PE7PF2DH28. Learning materials PE1 Quarter 1 Module 1. Number 19, we have PE7PF2D number 30. Learning materials PE1 Quarter 1 Module 1. Learning competency number 20. The code PE7 PF2DH31. Then 21 we have PE7 PF2DH32. Learning materials are PE1 Quarter 1 Module 1 as well as the learning competency number 20.
And now for the third quarter or third period, these are the exercise programs included: training guidelines, FITT principles, endurance, muscle and bone strengthening activities, folk, indigenous, ethnic, traditional, or festival dance. The content is standard for this quarter for the learners to be able to demonstrate understanding of guidelines and principle in exercise program designed to achieve personal fitness, while the performance standards for this quarter for the student to be gradually able to demonstrate understanding of guidelines and principles in exercise program designed to achieve personal fitness. Now, the learning competencies are the following. 22 undertakes physical activity and physical fitness assessments in a code of PE7PF3AH23. 23 reviews goals based on assessment result in a code of PE7PF3A34. 24 address barriers to exercise in a code of PE7PF3B33. 25 describes the nature and background of the dance in a code of PE73 or RD3D1. 26 execute the skills involved in the dance in a code of PE7RD3DH4. 27 monitors periodically one's progress towards the fitness goals in a code of PE7PF3DH28. 28 performs appropriate first aid for dance-related injuries in a code of PE7PF3D30. 29 assumes responsibilities for achieving personal fitness in a code of PE7PF3DH31. And last, number 30 keeps the importance of winning and losing in a perspective in a code of PE7PF3DH32. And for the learner materials are still the OHSP-PE Q1 Module 1.
On fourth quarter, fourth period of K-12 Basic Education Curriculum, here we have content standards. The learners demonstrate understanding of guidelines and principles in exercises program designed to achieve a personal fitness. So in performance standards, the learner modifies the individualized exercise program to achieve personal fitness. So here we have a learning competency. undertakes physical activity and physical fitness assessments, review goals based on assessment result, addresses barriers, low level of fitness, lack of skill, and time to exercise. Describe the nature and background of the dance. Execute the skills involved in the dance. Monitors periodically one's progress towards the fitness goals. Performs appropriate first aid for dance-related injuries. Example, cramps, sprain, heat exhaustion. So, analyzes the effect of exercises and physical activity participation of fitness. Assumes responsibility for achieving personal fitness. Keeps the importance of winning and losing in perspective.
So grade 8, first quarter, the content is exercise program, specifically muscle and bone strengthening activities like basketball, volleyball, football or futsal, rollball, softball, or baseball. So sa content standard, it is to set expectations sa specific learning content. So the learners demonstrates understanding of guidelines and principles in exercise program designed to achieve personal fitness. So sa performance standard naman, it is set expectation about sa performance ng contents. The learners designs a physical activity program for the family or school peers to achieve fitness. The learning competency number 1 is the learners undertakes physical activity and physical fitness. So dito mag-start na sa mga assessment about physical activity and fitness. Number 2, conducts physical activity and physical fitness assessments of family or school peers. This is self-explanatory wherein the learners will assess their family or peers' physical fitness. 3, set goals based on assessment results. In this part, the students will make objectives or kung ano yung gusto nila i-improve based sa kung ano yung pinalabasan o assessment na ginawa nila. Number 4, identifies training guidelines and FITT principles. The learners must familiarize themselves to frequency, intensity, time, and type principles which can be applied in physical activities. Number 5, recognizes barriers, low level of fitness like lack of skill and time to exercise. So as stated, the learners will identify kung ano yung mga bagay na makakaapekto sa performance. Number 6, prepares the physical activity program. So this time, they will create a program or sport training program to achieve specific fitness goals. Number 7, describes the nature and background of this sport. In this sport, aalamin kung ano yung or kung anong klaseng physical activities or bagay na pwedeng ma-enhance through a specific sport. Number 8, execute the skill described in this sport. So dito sa part na to, the learner will perform yung mga skills na required sa specific sports na nandun sa program na ginawa nila.
So next, we have here the learning competency. So we have the number 9, monitors periodically progress towards the fitness goals. Next, 10, distinguishes facts from facilities and misconceptions about physical activity participation. So here, madidistinguish or malalaman natin kung ano nga ba yung nagiging misconception ng ibang tao or ng students about the physical activity and kung bakit kailangan nilang mag-participate sa mga physical activity. So we have the number 11, performs appropriate first aid for injuries and emergency situation in physical activity and sports setting. So here, matatakal naman dito kung paano yung isang estudyante makakapag-perform individually or group or dual ng isang first aid na kailangan talaga nilang matutunan for their safety. And for number 12, we have the assumes responsibility for achieving fitness. And next is the number 13, display tolerance and acceptance of individuals' with varying skills and abilities.
Grade 8 curriculum guide the teacher on what they will teach to the students. The second quarter or second period, content standards can be used to judge the quality of curriculum content or as a part of a method of evaluation. Content standards articulate an essential core of knowledge and skills that students should master. For the content standard, the learner demonstrates understanding of guidelines and principles in exercise program designed to achieve fitness. So the performance standards isolate and identify the skills needed to use the knowledge and skills to problem solve, reason, communicate, and make connections with other information. Modifies physical activity program for the family, school, peers to achieve fitness. For learning competency, these are the main ideas or skills you expect student to master. First is undertakes physical activity and physical fitness assessments. Second, conducts physical activity and physical fitness assessments of family, school, and peers. Set goals based on assessment results. Recognize barriers, low level of fitness, lack of skills, and time to exercise. Prepares a physical activity program. Describe the nature and background of the sport. Executes the skills involved in the sport. Monitors periodically progress towards the fitness goals. Distinguishes facts from fallacies and misconceptions about physical activity participation. And last, performs appropriate first aid for injuries and emergency situations in physical activity and sport settings. The learning code guide the teacher to decongest the objective or specific objective or learning competency. It is in the code how many days you are going to teach the learning competent. You will now divide the content or topics into a learning competition. For learning materials, these materials are in textbooks that have been delivered to the schools.
My name is Rona Maydeafria, and this is the continuations of the discussion in grade 8, third quarter, third period. So, number 24, assumes responsibility for achieving fitness. Siyempre, unang-una, dapat iset mo na yung sarili mo doon sa kung ano ba yung goals mo. Next, displays tolerance and acceptance of individuals with varying skills and abilities. So, syempre, dapat maintain yung good friendship with your teammates. As a respect na din sa kanila. Number 26, undertakes physical activity and physical fitness assessment. So, dito naman, para ma-improve mo yung ability mo sa paggawa ng mga activities na ginawa mo na or gagawin mo pa lang. Number 27, reviews goals based on assessment results. So, dito naman yung kung paano mo masusukat yung ability mo para mai-apply mo yung mga skills and knowledge na natutunan mo. Number 28, addresses barriers, low level of fitness, lack of skills and time to exercise. Number 29, describe the nature and background of the sport. Siyempre, sports. Kasi, it's all about variety of different events that involve competition and kailangan ng physical training. Number 30, execute the skills involved in sports. So, dito naman, syempre, dapat para ma-execute mo ng tama yung skills na yon, syempre, dapat kailangan mo ng practice dito. And 31, monitor periodically one's progress towards the fitness goals. And last, number 32, performs appropriate first aid for sport-related injuries. So, kailangan dapat naka-ready yung first aid na gagamitin para in case of emergency.
Fourth quarter or fourth period, the exercise program, training guidelines, fit principle, endurance, muscle, and bone strengthening activities like folk dance and Asian influence, like including panganay, sakuting, suwa-kuswa, binislakan. And the learner demonstrate the understanding of the guidelines and the principles in exercise program designed to achieve fitness. And the learner modifies the physical activities program for the family and school peers to achieve fitness. Number 35, undertakes the physical activity and physical fitness assessments. Number 36, review the goal based on the assessment result. Number 37, addresses barrier, low level of fitness and lack of skills time to exercise. And number 38, describe the nature of the background of the dance.
Next, in addition, in learning competency of the grade 8 students during their fourth quarter in their physical education curriculum is, number 1, they need to execute the skills involved in the dance. Yung sinasabing dance dito is yung mga folk dances na inspired in Asia. Next, monitors periodically one's progress towards the fitness goals. Kumbaga, sabi dito, yung mga grade 8 students or yung kanilang PE teacher, kailangan niyang mag-monitor periodically or the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter kung ano ba yung naging improvement or wala bang naging improvement para sa kanilang mga students upang malaman nila or pwede silang mag-suggest ng different strategies or technique para may matutunan or may magkaroon ng improvement yung kanilang mga students. Second, perform appropriate first aid for injuries in emergency na pwedeng makuha in dances katulad ng cramps, sprain, heat exhaustion, dehydration. Next, analyze the effect of exercise and physical activity participation on fitness. Next, assumes responsibility for achieving fitness. And next, exerts best effort to achieve positive feeling about self and others. So, and that's all. Thank you.